Where the World Plays. DP World ILT20 is back with Season 4. Get ready for Season 4 of the DP World International League T20, the UAE's premier cricket and entertainment experience, live from December 2nd to January 4th across Dubai, Abu Dhabi and Sharjah cricket stadiums. Featuring 6 powerhouse franchise teams, including the Abu Dhabi Knight Riders, the Desert Vipers, the Dubai Capitals, the Gulf Giants, the MI Emirates and the Sharjah Warriors, the tournament promises to showcase the world's top T20 stars. Fans can enjoy enhanced matchday experiences at Dubai International Stadium, including the Sixes Lounge for premium hospitality and the Sixes Family Lounge with Santa's Grotto and festive activities. The all-new Christmas Wonderland will transform match days into holiday-themed festivals with live entertainment, food stalls, games, giveaways and attractions, while families in Abu Dhabi and Sharjah can visit Santa's Grotto for gifts and photos. The excitement builds further with daily raffle draws offering shopping vouchers and luxury staycations, plus a mega prize of 4 gold coins and a brand new Audi A3. Combining world-class cricket, family fun and festive celebration, DP World ILT20 Season 4 is the UAE's biggest winter celebration of sport and community. For tickets, use the link in the description and go to Virgin Megastore Tickets now. Hello, Harmeek.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for coming to Tasty Humans. I'm very excited about this conversation. But for everybody watching, please introduce yourself and who are you and what do you do?
I'm a tasty human, first of all.
Thank you.
My name is Dr. Harmeek Singh. I'm the group chairman for Plan B. I am also the race chairman for She Runs and Cancer Run Dubai and Abu Dhabi.
Fantastic. I know that you have done a lot for sporting events and the sporting community over the last 20 years in Dubai. I want to ask you, first question is, what's your earliest memory of sport?
My earliest memory of sports is going back to my university and my school. So I was an avid sports person. I was pretty much included myself in anything that was competitive. Mm-hmm. I was a good cricketer. So I was a sports cricket team captain for my school, and I was the soccer team and the cricket team captain for my university. I was looking forward, and my parents and my family thought that I'm going to pursue sports as my career as well.
What position did you play in the cricket team?
I was an all-rounder. So I used to bat up the order, and I used to bowl as well. And I was not a bad fielder.
And in the soccer team? Because obviously being from the UK.
I'm an out-and-out aggressor, so I was a forward line, right winger.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So how come you didn't pursue sport?
I think you've got phases, and if I look back right now, I should have, because I was getting into zonals and I was getting into the district level and the state level. It could have been a position that I would have taken up. But then again, you have things that you plan and then life happens. So there was things that I started to disconnect and other things that I used to pursue, things that probably made me who I am today.
And what were those things?
Things that probably were happening in my family business, things that probably my parents wanted me to do, and like they expected me to be a sports person, but then again, businesses were not doing too well. I'm the only son, so I was meant to be probably looking at things, how we can be supportive towards my dad, my mother who was working at that time as well. So diversion from that made me to probably just look at and take a break from sports.
And was there I speak from experience, was there a crossroads moment? You know, was there like a day or a memory that you have where you were like, if I go this way, I won't fulfill a sporting dream, you know?
Many times, because the camps that were put together for training and everything else started missing out on them. And it was something that, you know, when you get into a zone mindset, like today as well, the gym, if I've started and I'm working, which I take a lot of breaks because of travel, but if I'm going and then the first day is the hardest, then it goes into a point that I get regular. And the time that probably I take a break then I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it tomorrow. And that's what happens, that probably you then end up after 2 months, you start thinking, oh, the belly needs to get some running happen, and we need to be probably fit again. So yeah, at many times, the camps that were missed, many times that probably I was looking at, I will catch up on that. Didn't happen. Crossroads, yes.
So then when you came out of school and you transitioned into the family business.
Yes.
And what was that?
We were manufacturers for electronics. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about times when there were black and white televisions. So India, where the family business was, it was not doing too well because of every time there's anything that changes is because of China. So China got into the competition where we could not compete with that as well. So we were all over Asia. We were supplying, and it started to go down. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was a period that we did not adapt, or my family did not adapt. So things that we were still, or they were holding on to the belief that what was working earlier is still going to work. So investments went into a lot of different versions, didn't work well. Money that was supposed to get back, and we were supposed to actually have people to pay us as well, didn't happen the way that it was supposed to happen. So it went south.
And if I could ask, what impact did that have on the family?
The impact that happened on the family was we were amongst the top layer of families in New Delhi, which is the capital of India. And if you can consider the first car that was launched by Suzuki, among the first 5 cars, we were one of them.
Okay.
So we were affluential, we were good on means, but it happened that by reaching to mid-90s, we were looking at maybe where are we going to get our next meal from.
Okay.
So it was a lot of loans, a lot of cash flow issues, from houses that we had to sell, from cars that went away.
Oh wow!
A lot of things. So yeah, it was a period that I grew up with a silver spoon, and reaching to a point when I was looking forward for my next chapter in my life, I had to take up, and my thought process was that I don't have anything now.
And how did that affect you moving forward from that point? I actually wanted to ask about sort of status in New Delhi, in India. Is it a big thing? You know, in the UK, there is a big class system that goes on, you know. Is that similar?
In UK, you can't take that away as well, because wherever Punjabis are, it's a big thing.
Okay.
So we are meant to be a bit loud, a bit colorful as well. So status does matter. And I learned it the hard way, because if you are known only for your bank account, is something that I feel is so wrong. And that system was something that happened to us as well, where invitations stopped coming, people stopped taking calls, and things that probably could have been in a way, friends no longer around. It tells you the real story.
And if I could ask, how did your parents handle it?
They were broken. Okay. They were broken to a point that probably they left India after that, and because it is a kind of a thing, you know, when you start looking at the heartbreak, where you find that you had people and it was all kind of a show or fake. So they left India. They left when I was still there. They left, and they were a bit on a negative mindset. So they went to New Zealand, where we had some family over there. And believe me or not, but then again, my parents have taught me what hard work is. So they went to New Zealand because they wanted to probably still not be dependent on anyone, paid up everybody, said the goodbyes to the people that probably they had to. They went to New Zealand, and they started, and they did not tell me till very late when I came to know about this. So they said that they are working over there, but I did not know that they were working in the fruit industry, outdoors, plucking apples, physical labor. And that only shows me that there's no end, you know. There's no end. If you have the grit, if you have the kind of level of positivity in you, you can bring it back. They start working, and then I felt very responsible at that time. The only son. Then it so happened, whatever I was working in India at that point, I left everything and I came to Dubai.
And how old were you in the mid-90s? You said sort of 95, so this must have taken place between maybe 95 and 2000. So how old were you over that period?
I was in 95, it was 22 years. I was
Okay.
22. So started to go on, and we look at a part where probably most of the people, they think that they're settled in their lives. So I came to Dubai when I was 29.
And the last question I wanted to sort of ask on that little sort of section, and thank you for being so open about it and honest as well. I really respect that. Is how was it for you when they left? You know, I'm assuming there was like a small community and people knew each other. So you have, like you said, you have the status and you have this sort of, you have everything, everything's gone, and now the parents have gone. And how was it for you being left behind?
Very, very kind of closed. First of all, it was very emotional, then very confusing as well. I'm very close to my parents, especially my mother. So they did not want, like, you know what? The sad and the good part is, if I have a problem, if I have something, I'm not going to tell my parents. And if they have a problem, they don't talk to me because they don't want to weigh me, or I don't want to weigh them. So when they went over there, they were like always giving me happy messages and everything else. And I was like telling them I'm also trying to just build it up and what I can do. So I was working over here. It was very kind of confusing for me as well, and a very disconnected version of me. So when I started to work over there, I gripped a part of my work, which was a different sector. And again, you're going to ask me, but I'm going to tell you that I went into cold storage
Okay.
of perishable items, and it is a big market. The biggest market, Asia's biggest market in India, is in Delhi. So we started to store things for them, and I started with a leased warehouse. And the time that you make your warehouse to be full with the products, you start earning money out of that. It was hard because it was a kind of a sector that only recognized certain sector of people, and I was an outsider at that point. For me to probably just make myself to gain the trust, it took me an year. But after a year, my cold storage was full. I had another cold storage that I took as well after that. So I was just going to the market to probably have my engagement with my clients and taking money on rentals every month and stuff. So it was going good. One day I woke up and it was going well. I just had certain things that I felt that I was missing my parents, and things that probably I was left alone over here. Market was given a message that I am closing my cold storage for renovation, because if I tell them I'm closing, they will not pay me.
Okay.
So I said renovation, and then they started to shift it, and I got my money, and I took a terrace 2-bedroom house because I had 2 dogs that I could not leave, and I had a servant, and I had some money that I put in my bank account, and I came to Dubai.
And this was 2003.
This is 2003.
And then you came to Dubai, and from what I've sort of researched, I think the thing that you're very well known for is that you took a job where you were earning 2,700 dirham a month.
That's correct.
And 2 years later,
Yes,
that had grown to over 200,000 dirhams a month.
that's true.
Which is phenomenal, you know.
I think that probably that is phenomenal. But then again, that's the kind of, when you get into a trance. So it was a point of my life that changing my sector, working alone in India and coming to Dubai, there's only one thing that I had. I cannot go back. So hard work comes naturally from my parents, what I've got as an upbringing. Started working, and one thing that probably I knew that, and I still believe that if you have to create something, you can only create with your trust and credibility. And that is not found on the shelf. So you have to make it consistent and make sure that probably it has been looked upon from a perspective. It's not a PR statement. It's been felt. It's been growing from the part. If I get a client today, it's a crime to lose that client. If I get a client and that client is somebody that is initially having the walls, but then again gets comfortable and opens up, and I am working based on the fact that there's a trust. This client should not go anywhere. It's a crime. But this client should also have a word of mouth that I get 3 more.
And the growth over those 2 years, did that take place within the job that you had, or did you set up your own company and shift?
No. So the first job that I got was something that I had after a lot of rejections. After 10, 12, 15 interviews, this was one job that I went for as an interview. And I mentioned that earlier, I'm an aggressor. So the interviewer was a sales manager over there, and this person was in a sector field of digital printing and kind of events, section of events. So I did not know anything about events. I did not have any knowledge about what I'm getting into. But then again, I know I can talk. I know I'm a people's person. My biggest trait that I know is sales. So if I connect, I can convince people. So this is why I went for a sales officer's job over there. And this person had 3 questions for me, and I left that interview after that. He asked me, why should I give you a job? Because you are getting me your credentials, but you don't have UAE experience, you don't have a driving license, and you don't have any network over here. And at that point, I stood up and I said, you actually owe this job to me. I was like, what? I was like, yeah, you owe this job to me because when you came, you did not have any experience. You did not have a driving license because you did not have a visa till you get experience, and you did not have a network. Somebody gave you this opportunity, and this is your responsibility to give it to me so I can prove it as well. I was like, what? And I left.
That's really good, by the way.
No, I was very disappointed as well. You know, rejection is not easy. It's something that probably, and this is mental. When you tell somebody that you are not wanted, how does that person feel? And after so many rejections, I said, like, I have to go back because my visit visa was getting expired. 45 minutes later, I got a call. He said, come back. And they asked me to come. And then I sat down and he said, like, one thing that he said, Mr. Singh, you got fired. Don't let it go down. So I just took it up with that one. I worked for that company for 10 months. Delayed salaries, no commissions, whatever was committed. I put my targets out. I was working 16 hours a day, not joking. I was staying in Sharjah, taking a sharing taxi because I didn't have money, coming to Dubai, then taking another sharing taxi to reach to my office. 8:30, 8:31 means my half day is going to be deducted. So it was hard. And they had a period in that time was that between 1 to 4, Dubai used to close down. Like it was in that period, offices were closed and you have to go back home. So at that point I'm talking about. So I did not have any means or money to go back. So between 1 and 4, I used to walk around all places over there just to give my business card and see if I can get some printing jobs over there. So I worked really hard and I got my license. I got my networking happen. The experience was there. I was not getting what I was supposed or what I was committed to do. And then they asked me that you will have to possibly look out for something else. I said, fine, then I'm going to put my resignation or fire me. So like, you put your resignation, I put my resignation, and then they put a ban on me for 6 months. At that point, it used to be that if an employer wants, they can put a ban on an employee. But I had made a network where I got an offer from a free zone company, which was media selling. And a very good friend now as well, and he's so proud of what has happened. So I worked for them for media sales and also taking care of their installations during that point. And my salary was 6,500. And I was getting commissions. So I was making 13,000 dirhams. It was a company in a free zone, Media City. So we were supposed to work 5 days a week, 10 to 5. And the work that I had put in the earlier company, which was not a competition to them, they started all come to me because what I had created for them, everything fell off because there was no service levels. Because everybody was talking about, there is one Mr. Singh. If he says it is going to happen, it is going to happen. So at that point, it was not very crowded, and a lot of people were not professionally looking at things. I was looking at getting myself adapted and also looking at innovation at that point. What I do, I don't repeat myself, and service levels were something which was very important for me. So that 13,000 job, then I asked my employer, can I do freelancing? He said, my work is done, I don't care. So they were very open towards that. And if that would have not happened, I would have not been sitting over here. So they allowed me, and they gave me a written document that you can start working on freelancing, whatever. And then I started freelancing. I used to do 10 to 5, and then 5 to 2 a.m., 3 a.m., I used to work for myself. And it started to pour from everywhere. And 200 was committed, but then again, we reached around 300, 350,000 dirhams every month I was making. And after 10 months, and I went to him and I said, like, I cannot sail on 2 boats. thank you for the opportunity, but do you allow, or I would take your decision because I don't want to force it to you, but I would like to probably see my own company to come up. And he said, like, I'm so proud of you. Please go ahead. Rest is history. So we have plan B.
I have like 1,000 questions. I think the first question I want to ask is, how much of what happened to you back in New Delhi with what happened with the family business affected your work ethic when you came to Dubai?
A lot. First, I valued everything because when I was brought down, like from what I was supposed to be in my growing up years, and knowing that probably I'm no prince, I'm not someone who's probably actually just probably even wanted when there is no money. So that brought in a real version of me. Working hard was something that probably came hard to me initially, but then again, then I did not stop. I come from north of India, so a cold place, but it was difficult for me to judge or like adapt to the weather conditions over here, and I had no cars. So during months of June, July, I was walking. I had nosebleeds every day.
Yeah, mental. Yeah.
So I did not give up, and that's where probably going back home at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and then getting a sharing taxi at 5:30, 6:30. It was hard. But then again, when you have your mindset on something, it's the kind of insults that I've taken. Yeah. It's the kind of insults my family had taken. It made me a person that probably was on a mission. And again, especially my reason was my daughter, because I saw things that probably were not as per she should have been probably treated as an equal, but I would never let myself fail as a father. So that was the fire that was pushing me, and things that probably were happening was based on the fact that I had hunger, I had passion, and I was looking at doing it the right way. I don't have a godfather. I don't have anybody who's funded me from anything that probably what you see today right now is completely built with sheer hard work.
Did you socialize at all through that period? Did you have partners and friends, or was you just work?
That came much later, because the first 3-4 years was only work. So till we were around 2007, it started to look at the first break, or first time that I went back to India was after 5-6 years. And it was due that I did not have time, and I could not, because I was one-man army. I was the driver. I was the accountant. I was the one who was making a proposal. I was the one who was getting collaborations done with my external suppliers, being on site. So it was something that I cannot leave.
And how did you handle the spiral in the increase of income? You know, you 2,000 dirhams a month to 200,000 dirhams a month. How did you not go, I've made it, and rest on that?
I mentioned that. So hunger is not about being greedy. I was not greedy about it. It was the things that probably I knew that what my family had, or at least as an entrepreneur blood in my veins, I know that what businesses could be made out of. And I don't want to lose an opportunity of what we have left can be recreated. It is an old saying that probably one generation works, the second generation enjoys, and the third generation then again destroys, and the fourth one then again repeats to bring it back. So I am the first generation, I'm the second generation who's working hard. And I am not passing on this to my children so that they can enjoy. They have to work hard.
Do they know that?
They know that.
Yeah.
Because one thing that probably I've learned is that probably money can be gone. Money is not something that you can hold on to, but knowledge cannot be taken away.
Yeah, that's
and
very true.
A kind of things that I want to pass on to my children or anybody, I'm a mentor to a lot of people, is about the knowledge of how to get yourself mentally strong, how to get yourself in any sector, if I can support you, upskill yourself. Looking at that, what is happening, adapt yourself. So it's not about being rigid. Rigidness can be of two ways. Rigid is that probably you can be probably rigid about stupidity as well, and you break. Rigid is about that probably when you know firmly that this is right, then stand for that. So I understand that probably this could be probably looked upon from a perspective of greed. I have not done anything that probably I should have not done. I have get myself into a point, my family, my parents, everybody benefits from that. Today, they bask in the glory of whatever that I do. And I'm not taking a lifetime achievement award over here because I'm still work in progress. So things that probably I wanted to do, I was able to do. And it was managing it, having a step-by-step approach, looking at the opportunity. When 2008 recession came, everybody was looking at its end because everything, the global economies failed. All of that was looking at as a negative side. At that point, I hired people, which came on a very good salary. I took up rental agreements for my warehouses. I had one, I took 10 warehouses. So I started to mushroom out and I started to branch out on things that I can add on. If I am giving you, if I'm selling you a suit, I'm going to sell you a tie as well. I'm going to sell you a shirt as well. So I was trying to package it from printing to production to marketing to strategy to technology to looking at PR. All of this started to come together. And yeah, we were starting to looking at ourselves as a one-stop solution.
And what was it about events that got you drawn into that sector?
My first big event that I got part of was close to my heart as well. It was Dubai Marathon. It's the world's richest race, pace events, Peter. So
it's the world's richest race.
Yeah, the prize money.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was at that point. I'm sure that it is still now as well. So I worked
probably it's Dubai.
I was hired when I was working for my Media City company, and they said, "This is a project that you can support and everything else, and the company can make some money." I said, yes. I got involved. I did everything that was required for backend. Starting point was I loved the sporting part. That was the first event. It is still close to my heart. And then...
Have you run a marathon?
I haven't run a marathon, but I started running the talk just recently.
Yeah.
So this cancer run, because it was about run for a reason. So I ran 3 kilometers for my mother and proudly put it on my chest as well because she's a cancer survivor.
Okay.
So I have been into sports, but then again, time is something that you do not get in our industry. Either you can be involved in sports or you can work.
And running is tough.
Running is tough. My first run for 3 kilometers was tough. But then again, the grit was there. I had to finish. So I was a finisher. So, yeah.
So you're doing Dubai Marathon.
I was doing Dubai Marathon at that time. And each year I was getting bigger with my support towards Dubai Marathon. And came down to a point where we parted ways, but it was in my company, it was as an annual event. So we created a niche of working for a brand for 10 years till 2014, till we reached to downtown. We had a marathon in downtown as well. So coming up with creative ideas for fan zones, for creative fan villages, looking at that, what we can do with support systems, operationally, how we can manage it, all of this, bringing in partners, sponsors. So we were doing well.
How many runners were taking place?
16,000. I think now it's 35,000.
So what are the logistics involved? Like we were talking before we started recording about, I did nightlife, did a lot of events, and you execute an event on a day, but the planning starts
much earlier,
much in advance. So when you're doing it, I've never done anything on your scale. When you're doing 16,000 runners, fan zones, closing roads, etc., like that, when does the planning actually start? 2
to 3 months before, because permits and permissions have to be taken by the government, Dubai Police, road closures, RTA, all these government permits have to be in place so that they know. And it's not something that today you wake up and you say that the roads have to be closed today. It has to be announced to the community. It has to be known to the public. Everything that probably has to be put together in health and safety version as well. So all documentation to be done. Anything that probably does not go through, we have to have that been taken up. Registrations begin much earlier. So it is growing by the day. Most of the registrations, they happen in the last month or last few days because people tend to be late. Thought processes that our registration, I've seen the peak at the last minute. So you have to be ready for a percentage growth as well on that one. Your merchandise, your T-shirts, your kits, everything being in place as well. So then it comes down to your planning team. So there's a team that probably takes care of the operational part. There's a team that probably takes care of the kilometer markers. So the route has to be mapped properly. Route mapping has to be done. Based on that, you have to look at that the runners when they're running. So there are different routines. There's a 5 kilometer, there's a 10 kilometer, there's a half marathon, there's a marathon. I'm talking marathon. And then what we do is 1 kilometer, 3 kilometer, 5 kilometer, and 10 kilometer. So every kilometer or every 2 kilometers, there's a water station, there's a health and safety person. How's going to be the lead car doing? What's the medical support that you have to? All of this is a lot of planning. It's a lot of planning.
It's a lot of responsibility.
It's a lot of responsibility. And having that seamless part, and trust me, I'm telling you as a veteran now, seasoned campaigner, that you can plan your event only 70%. 30% is left for that day.
Yes, of course.
You may have everything written, everybody knows. That's why a contingency plan, a plan B, needs to be there always. So we have been looking at things that gets us challenged. A lot of times things that probably are completely not at the point that we think that probably it's going to be right, but how to change, and having behind the scenes manage it and do it, that the public or anybody that probably is coming, they enjoy and they go back. They do not even come close to what goes behind the scenes.
100%. I mean, it is, I think anyone that deals with large scale events or any events can agree that while the event's happening, there's a lot of things going on that the public, none of it's that bad, but there's a lot of things that are like, you've really got to keep your eye on. When you get a call on the radio or the phone, do you realize that's happened over there? This is happening over there. I don't know. I always found that you always have to have somebody who's panicking within the team. I was like, right, who's going to panic about this? So you said they don't actually panic, don't get me wrong, but it's like go and become obsessed with what could go wrong. Everyone loves what can go right. The DJs, like in my world, the DJs coming in or the fans are coming in, and it's all we're going to look at the forecast. We're going to make loads of money. Everything's okay. Somebody go around and check where every cable is. Somebody go and do a contingency if the toilet's shut down and they don't, stuff like this. What do you think is like some of the biggest things that you've experienced in events that nobody knew was happening?
There was times, I'll tell you, the big screen that probably you have your warm-up sessions and the people are in front of you and all of that, because that's a ritual for runs. Warm-up session, you have your Zumba training or trainers that probably gets everybody warmed up. That's 30 minutes before, or like different runs, different versions. So the screen gets you a little bit of a thing, a huge screen that probably is the one, the sound, the music, all of that. I had a couple of times that probably the generator just went off. So that 10 minutes was like pitch dark. What are we doing? And everything else. So we have maneuvered our way with entertainers and people who were there just to probably just do loud versions and things, people that they control. They don't even know. One, it gets back as well. We still have that vibe going, and a lot of times that you would not imagine. There's washroom facilities that people, when they want to go before, there's responsibilities for backdrop areas because people come with their kits and things that probably they want to park as well. Sometimes the bags have been wrongly been taken by somebody else. So these are all learning experiences that we had now multiple checkpoints to be created so that we know. So if there's a generator, we'll have a backup generator. We'll have a backup generator for a backup generator as well. So last year we had a sustainable run. So we had human powered inverters to be put together. So we were using that as a green run that probably we were working on, and we were successful on that.
And so what then made you decide to create the women's run?
I didn't decide it, actually, to be honest. It actually happened to a point because I was working with the UAE Athletic Federation because of the marathon and a few other things that we were working with them. So sports and women's run was just initiated to a point where it was very limited. But then again, the idea of women's run was something that excited me. I am someone who believes the part that probably people talk about women equality or how this needs to be put together. But I think women are superior because I have been brought up by a mother and I've been having women around in my life is to do with that strength that I see in them. When I got this opportunity, I thought that this is something I'm passionate about. And trust me, I can tell you that many years, I'm just losing money, but I'm not making it go down. I used to probably look at it as a perspective. This is not an investment. This is something what my passion is. So when they asked me, do you want to do this? I said, yeah. And then it started with planning. It started from 200, 500 women running. And today we are crossing 6,000, 7,000 women running. And plus a crowd that comes along, makes it for around 15,000 people, 16,000, 20,000, 30 by 30. We're a part of that. We're a part of the Dubai Active Show. So it has gone from strength to strength. The stop that happened in COVID had a gap for 2-3 years, but we are in the 12th edition now.
As I was sort of preparing for this and the, like I say, the women's run and everything like that, I did start to think about women's sports evolving over the decades. You know, I think you're 2 years older than me, you know, so I think we both remember times where everything was so male dominated.
It's true.
And the growth in the last, I don't know, it's actually my biggest passion for sports football, you know, and to see the women's game rise the way it did, I'm more than happy to hold my hands up and say, I remember at the beginning, you know, there was that kind of, that's a bit weird, isn't it? You know, like why women playing, you know, like I'm from that era, I'm from that ilk, and I'm happy to admit that. But to watch the evolvement of it, you know, and how good they are, and then England winning European trophies, and now the stadiums in the UK are full, you know, and you now have women's rugby and you have women's football. And I just think that, I do think it was a strange time for it to never be like that. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but it also needs to probably be looked upon from a perspective. So when there is a narrative, a stereotype that's there from the times that I was born or you were born, when we were growing up, there were certain things that probably were meant to be the way they were.
Yes,
and then again, the mindsets were not as open as they used to be. You coming from UK, England, I have been in England many years, and things that probably I have seen. The growth has been towards a mental side as well, to getting you accepting it as well.
Yes,
so
that's what I'm saying.
We look at India, and it is a conservative society. Looking at UAE, for that matter, we are in the Middle East. It is supposed to be conservative, and it is a conservative society as well. But trust you me, 15 years ago, when in the region, people were not looking at even women to drive.
Yes.
We started running over here. It's the vision, it's the openness, and anything that is supposedly to be probably changed. How do you change the narratives? How do you change the world? Is by breaking those stereotypes.
Yes.
And I think acceptance, if you like it right now, or I like it right now, you talk about, look at the International Cricket World Cup for women happening at the current moment.
Yeah.
Did you even imagine that you will have your cricketing heroes been replaced by women cricketing heroes? Look at the kind of transformation that's happened. And I think that's good for sports, that's good for society, for the social fabric as well, and opportunity-wise as well. If you read, competitive sports for women were something that people did not even think. Even the kind of referees, even the kind of people, it was just a fun element to it.
Yeah.
Now it's gone into a point where it is fine, it's business as well, but then again, it is also to do with that probably it has become very serious. It's competitive as well, and it is filling up the stadiums. It's expectations that probably the country leads with passion as well. So, yeah.
And the growth is
immense.
The growth is incredible. How, like I say, especially, you know, in the football matches back home, you have big Premier League teams building new stadiums to shift the men's game to. And what would normally happen is, I think Everton have just done it, where they've shifted to a new stadium, and instead of turning Goodison Park into flats or real estate, they've gone, no, we're going to give that to the women's game because they can fill it, which is unbelievable.
It's phenomenal. And no pun intended, but then again, we have the famous English crowd as well, coming out in numbers, and after the winning matches, and the competition and the clashes is still happening, which is good for the women's teams as well.
It still has the same amount of passion, and what I will say is that I do think that everyone watching the women's game is much more well behaved.
It is, yeah.
What other sporting events have you executed in the UAE?
I was given an opportunity 3 years ago with the Intercontinental Beach Soccer by Dubai Sports Council, and I was questioned, can I do this? That's the first thing that probably I take up as a challenge. So we had somebody who was doing it for 11 years. I got the opportunity, and not FIFA, but then again, Beach Soccer president worldwide was here at that point. And what we did, he said, this is the first time that I can see elevation, and the way that it has been done, amazing. So we got compliments, and I got a on-field kind of a trophy been given up by His Excellency as well. So that gives and fuels that probably you are on the right track. Then happened that we pitched in for FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup last year in Dubai. That also we won on the tender. And what we did, FIFA president, Hemi was here as well, and the team, they said this is an elevation to another level, which is great. We bought a stadium as well, 3,900 seater, and we fitted up in a record. We broke a world record for 25 days that we set it up, and operationally, His Highness Sheikh Rashid Al Noami as well complimented me in front of media, breaking the protocol that I have made Dubai and UAE proud. At that point, it was like we were fueling ourselves that probably we are on the right track. And then came down that we were, as it has never happened, the third FIFA second year in running FIFA event for FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup was awarded to us by Seychelles government and LOC. We finished that and we broke the record by 1 day. We set it up in 24, and then operationally, marketing, supporting them on their anthem and all that just gave us a lot of things to cherish on. And we were asked to now pitch in for being a partner for sports tourism. The government that was working on that has changed now, but we still hold a lot of good ground on that one. So it is not about a kind of a section of sports. Any sports that probably brings in, for me, and we were talking about this as well, sports is one language that everybody understands.
Yes.
Losing team or losing person is also a winner. And that's a kind of world that I believe in, that probably we all hold hands, competing on the ground, but then again still being together. So I think sports has been my passion, and it's been like showing its way. So this is not the only one.
Well, when it comes to the World Cup of football, it's so special. Like, and funnily enough, you can argue that the Champions League, the Premier League, when you actually have teams where they have the world's best players all playing together, different nationalities together, everything like this. Yes, that's good. But when it's country to country, there's something, whenever there's a World Cup, there's World Cup next year, which is going to be tough because the timings are all over the place if you live over in the States.
I've just come back from Canada.
Yeah.
We've opened up a company over there.
Okay.
We're pitching in for some of the work that we can get.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
We were part of Qatar World Cup as well, last minute. 10 days given for the 100 days to go event, which was 99. We were given the launch of the anthem and the a road show that was to be created to probably let people know that it's 100 days to go and left and everything else. We did immensely well. Supreme Committee had passed on to us because of our credentials. Over here, FIFA has worked with us for all the Club World Cups that have happened. We are the part of the touring fan zone, experiential fan zones, and the marketing touring roadshows as well. Also looking at creating partners and sponsors to be probably represented by us. I did the Asian Football Championship as well in 2019. So there's a lot of experience that brings us, and then that's why we are trying to pitch in for the next year's World Cup as well. And I'm hopeful that we can represent UAE
it's going to be the biggest one, isn't it?
It's the biggest one, yes.
More teams. It's spread over Mexico, America, and Canada, which, go back even as less as 20 years, you wouldn't be able to do that,
on that level.
On that level. But again, the Americans haven't had it since 1994. And I remember that because England didn't go. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like I was going to say, like when your reference to that statement of, sport is language across the globe. Like say you watch the World Cup and you see it's country versus country. And there's so many great rivalries. And I think I remember in the Qatar World Cup, who was it that beat Argentina? Saudi beat Argentina. And I remember...
I was there.
And
I was in the stadium.
It is incredible. And I remember I was at work, and I remember you look at the fixtures and you go, Argentina versus Saudi. Okay, cool. That's 10-0 to Argentina.
True.
No problem. And then this is what I think people don't get about the World Cup that makes it so good, is that suddenly the Saudis are winning. And you're like, okay, 10-1. Do you know what I mean? And then it goes on and goes on, and then word gets around, and people are messaging me, and you're messaging, are you watching this? Do you know what I mean? Like, Saudi could win. And then suddenly everything stops, and people that are not from Saudi and not from Argentina, but football essence and competition and what it means to people, and you stand there and watch, and you start going, go on. You're like, because what this would do for your country, those
True.
people in their heart.
True.
And what it did, they got a national holiday, wasn't it?
And
incredible.
A lot of gifts as well. A lot of amounts were given out. No, you're right. You know what? I'll tell you a couple of things on this one. One, Do you know that when running is a sport as well, when people are running for 100 meters, humanly, they have clocked at a point, 8.9, 9 seconds, whatever. Now, when they clock that, that's their best. World records are broken. And on that day, you see that probably that person who could only run at 8.9, he did 8.6, even though he tried earlier.
Yeah.
It's not about any kind of substance or whatever. You know what that is? That is called passion, and that passion is driven by the country that they're representing.
Yeah.
That does a lot of good. And when Saudis were winning over there and Argentina, I was in the middle of that because it was too hot at that day. And I was I had a flight back to Dubai. So I was looking that probably I'll just leave early. But when I went down, and then when I heard the first goal, like it was equalized and everything,
yeah.
I saw, like you won't imagine, humanly it was not possible for people who were over there at the refreshment corner or like that, because I was in the section for VIP because I was invited. They jumped this high that I could not imagine a person can jump, like everywhere. And then I went back. It was a thing of joy. You know, this also gets a belief of people that underdogs can win. You know that what it does to you, what it does to a country, what it does to people is that probably this can happen. And this can happen, then you get a self-belief, I can do things as well, you know. Representing with pride. When 1983, India was an underdog when they came to England, the World Cup. And 83, West Indies was like giants. We had a final match that was happening. India scored a paltry runs, like 183 or something that was there. So everybody wrote India off. This is not going to happen. It's Viv Richards and everything else. The time that we won, you know what it did to our country? India started believing in itself. Heads went high. Pride, that passion, and started to flow with a system that probably today, if you look at IPL, it started from there. It's the biggest franchise model on a league. It is the biggest, we are the richest association. We have every household that probably has got people who are trying to see cricket being a career.
It's a brilliant sporting idea.
Yeah.
Is bidding. You know what I mean? It puts in an element. It's where you've taken really good elements of sport and you turn it into, I don't know. So there's even competition before it even starts.
True.
Where it's the bidding, it's who's going to get which player, and it's almost like it's a live fantasy league.
True.
You know, anybody that plays the fantasy league games where you're spending fake money on putting your team together and everything like this. I do it every year. And the thing is that you're creating the bidding, the auction. Suddenly that player's coming. We got that player, and then these teams are being assembled for one-off tournaments. It's a really, really good idea. But you know,
beyond that, if you look at that, how it has progressed, there has been rivalries. So like you have your Ashes,
yes,
England, Australia, whatever. When you have these things happen, and then you see that probably the same players can play in one team. You know how different this is?
Yeah.
Like people that you're competing against, you can play with them as well. It only just gets a little bit of a cultural ambassadorship that people are accepted, and they all become a part of that where sports wins. Yeah.
Yeah, like you say, sport wins, yeah. I wanted to ask you that your continued connection to sport, do you see a connection yourself about not being able to fulfill a sportsman career, but still having that desire to stay connected to it, you know, to just fulfill that childhood? Because I'm a firm believer in everything starts in childhood. We're all 13-year-old kids in big bodies, and you what's driving people happens at a very early age, even if you have forgotten that.
True.
You know,
True. No, I think there's a valid point to that. Now, that's more towards the subconscious mind, that what you could not do, but somewhere it's venting out, somewhere it's just spilling out. And it's to do with you have to look at it from a perspective that if sometimes, like I've seen my father, who was trying to actually tell me that he was an avid follower of being a part of the military. He wanted me to be one, because if he could not fulfill, maybe I can do that. So it is always going to be a thing that probably when we need to do something, if we need to probably just, we cannot do it, how can we actually be a part of it? So I think sports came to me naturally. And being a good competition, I love challenges. So this is something that probably was so much naturally. If anything that probably I'm doing right now, I'm coming up with unique concepts as well, which is, I can't talk much about it, but then again, it's to do that probably what I can do is elevate. So it is to do with that probably how we can get more people. It's not a one-day event. It is a community. It's growing and it becomes like a flavor. So we are working on some good things to upgrade ourselves.
Would you say that you're in competition with the competition, business, industry, or are you in competition with yourself?
With myself, I don't think businesses compete. From 2017, before COVID, people started to talk about it after COVID. I believe in collaboration, a consortium, a platform that we all can actually have standardization and win-win. Today, in our industry or in any industry, the easiest way to actually do business is about undercut or do things that probably. So I don't believe that's a fair practice and ethical as well. I feel that probably I compete with myself, what I was 10 years ago, what I was 5 years ago, what I was 5 days ago. And if I learn from that probably I could have done this in a different or a better version, I would love to do it. So I evaluate myself. And I think that's a fair practice.
And what is I'm very into this, like, what is the voice inside your head telling you?
Money had one kind of a big place in my career initially when I came over here. Now, money is not as a focal point for me. I want to do things which has got meaning, which actually just gets me fulfillment of an achievement. I'm a creative person, so I don't like to probably just do tick in the boxes. I like to curate. So the inner voice in me is always telling me about things. What you see, if you see a paper, a piece of thing that probably you might see a picture, you might see what you see. I see it differently. So I'm not putting it out that probably I'm out of the world that probably I think in a way, in a version that people don't think. But my version of myself is about not achieving for money. It's about fulfillment of my creativity. And that inner voice always gets me, and that's my biggest critic as well. So I actually at times want to go back. Something that I did, I could have done differently. I want to go back and slap myself. I could have done it differently. So it comes with experience as well. But then again, it's also to do with that afterthoughts do give you anything that you do right now. Next time, you're going to do it better. So it's a refined version. So I like to be refined every time.
I mean, I find you such a fascinating individual because you have that very unique story of, you came from means, it was there and then it went, and it sounds like it all went. Do you know what I mean?
It all went.
And you were reduced down to, metaphorically speaking, the bare bones, even to the point
Rubble.
where mum and dad have left the country and you're now all alone. And then so from that moment forwards, you've then gone, right, I've got no options here. I have to start moving forwards. And like, say you come to Dubai and no car, no travel. I mean, walking around in the summer, the heat, for those people, for those who don't live here, the heat we talk about all the time, like Dubai's famous for it, but in June, July and August, the heat is, you can't go outside.
True.
But how much do you think not having a choice, your back's against the wall, it's either, and again, might sound a bit dramatic, but metaphorically speaking, it's this or death. Do you know what I mean? Metaphorical death,
True.
not actual death. How much do you think that helps a person get focused?
Immensely. What is the first thing that anybody wants to do in their lives? Survive.
Yeah.
Survival is the first thing. Means and everything else, forget about it. So consider, you do not know how to swim, you're thrown in the water, but if you don't try, you're going to put up your hand, you're going to just do whatever to survive. And I think that's the best thing. And the quickest lesson to survive is to throw you in the water.
Yeah.
So I think that was a drive for sure. I had a very clear mandate with me. I am not going back. I am not going back. Even though I have certain means, I can still build it up. For me, self-respect is numero uno. And for that, I had left. I can leave. I've left a lot of doors open where it has been millions lying over there, but I'm not someone who's actually just going to bow down to a point where probably somebody can trample me or look at myself as a carpet. And it has been many times that you will find that out, that probably there are different people's different kind of mindsets. So for me, this was important, that when I came over here, I had no choice, no choice at all. And that, I think, made me, and I think that a lot of people look at this as well, that when you do not have any other choice, this is the only thing that you have to, you're not juggling, focused.
Do you think people have too much choice these days? There's too many safety nets.
I always...
That's the first time in the whole conversation you've gone, you know.
Okay, tell me about your generation and my generation, all right? Did we have any means of learning anything that probably we could just click on a button and we can find the information? No. We had to find it ourselves, right? So what is about, and I am an avid follower of technology. I believe that artificial intelligence and everything else, and I've learned, and I'm becoming a pro on that one as well.
Yeah.
But human intelligence cannot be taken away. You and me, we had a phone in our home. We had phones which was having a wired phone in our homes, and we remembered every number.
Yes.
I used to read dictionaries. I was fascinated with words. Now, all of this, we are getting crippled because what numbers you cannot remember, because it's a phone book that you comes in, you just type your first letter, you have that. Dictionary, it's an autocorrect. You don't even remember now. A lot of times people forget about that. Oh, I'm correcting myself now these days. So I think that probably now there's so many means that is available. It's so many things that probably people have, but then again, not having any choices made us who we are today, real. What people have as choices, in India, there used to be one television channel when I was 7 years old, and I'm sure that probably in England as well, there might be few, 2, 3, 4. So now I was focused on that, and there was whatever that was coming. It was like about farmers. We used to watch that as well.
Yeah.
Like it was something.
You found something to watch.
Something to watch.
You had no choice.
Now you have 1,000 plus channels, and you're not focused. You flip. Why? Mind is not stable. And everybody that probably in this generation, it's to do. And I try to meditate for that as well. It's to do with that. Our mental structure, the youth right now needs to have patience and have stability. They are the ones who are leading us now, but then again, they also need to look at it that probably what is it that we need to do? We're doing too many things. Don't juggle.
Well, I think that I think my biggest kind of take on it is it appears to kind of have ruined the sense of adventure.
True.
So you already know everything about what you're about to do before you do it. And I think it's even gone even further than that, where I look at maybe the movie industry. Okay, so I was really into films, massive form of childhood escapism, loved it, you know.
Yeah.
But now you're. I mean, of course it's all up to us what you want to consume. But now you're getting lots and lots of different people on YouTube that are telling you all about these things before you've seen them, and but it's gone even further. It's like, they're going to make this film. That person's going to do it. Our first reaction, and before you even go and see it, you've listened to so much opinion of it that you're going into it. I remember like the good old days. I mean, like I said, it's up to me whether I want to see it or not, but it always gets thrown at you that you can't go and discover something anymore. You know, there's so much in your hand that's going to tell you everything about it from a million different opinions that even if you go and do it, you're all skewed about what you're experiencing. You're not actually getting it yourself.
At times, ignorance is bliss.
Yes.
And I tend to not know everything. So I still enjoy my movie when I want to.
Yeah.
But it's just that probably that effort that I have to take to go to the cinema. Otherwise, because you have choices in front of you that, okay, Indian Bollywood movies, if it's not going to be seen now, after 4 weeks, it's going to be on Netflix. So you understand that. So I think you're right on that. Sense of adventure is missing.
Yeah.
We are, and this period, including us as well, forget about generations. Everybody is trying to be relevant.
Yes.
We all are trying to fit in. What we show is real. The real is missing. And for me, I am a very big supporter of real life than real life. So, yep.
I mean, you have to show the real you.
True.
And that's a whole other podcast conversation. But look, we're coming very close to the end of the time. I have two final questions. The first one is, because you're so heavily connected to the sporting fabric of Dubai for the sort of the last 20 years or so, why does Dubai not have its flagship sporting event, in the sense of maybe it does and I'm going to get shot by people, but it's like Abu Dhabi has the Grand Prix. Saudi has a Grand Prix, and it's obviously doing what it can with Live Golf and the MMA and the boxing and everything like this. Why doesn't Dubai have like a Grand Prix, or why hasn't it managed to secure what could be construed, I'm digging myself a hole here, as a big global sporting event?
I think Abu Dhabi is a part of the UAE, and Dubai, what it does, yes, it has got its own flavor, but I think the whole region is having people, and all these sporting events come to this region is because of Dubai. And I am also just digging a hole for myself because I work everywhere. But
that's actually a very good point.
But that's the fact that probably how Dubai has marketed itself, how we've opened up the doors, how we've been progressive about it, everything is becoming, the center of now is here.
Yeah.
And then again, infrastructure-wise, Dubai is encouraging itself to probably look at things that we are building, biggest, tallest tower, everything that is happening. Sports, all the sports are here. You know, like just now the federation, the council has changed for Dubai Sports Council. But then again, 400 plus events that Dubai Sports Council is doing in a year, like supporting or have their own flagship event, they have always been a facilitator. And I think that the vision is very clear. We are leaders with what we do, with our strategy, with our marketing from Dubai's perspective. But then anything that comes to region, we benefit. Each emirate benefits from that. That's bringing in tourism, that's bringing in sports, that's bringing in a lot of moolah.
And my final question, as I ask on all Tasty Humans, is if out of your entire life, however you want to frame it, if there's one statement you would want to leave on the table, what would that statement be?
I would take one word out of your podcast.
Okay.
I would want everybody to be human before anything. And for that, I work very hard to have the kind of flag for humanity, and looking at things that probably how world is geopolitically sitting on somewhere, I want. And that's why sports is such a peaceful language. We want everybody to be human, respect each other, and that's my statement. And that's what I live for.
Fantastic. Harmeek Singh, thank you so much for coming in. I've really enjoyed this.
Thank you. It was tasty.
Thank you so much. I wish you all the best.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.